Okay, welcome. It's Ryzen 7 launch day around the world. Very exciting moment. People are lining up out there, taking advantage of, for the first time ever, being able to buy a CPU, run it at home based on the Zen architecture. So, for some of you guys, you've been working on this for 4 years or more. How do you feel? Are you excited? Are you relieved? Are you tired? Are you pumped up? How do you guys feel?
Well, I can't believe this day is finally here.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for this for, 4 years, but it was such a roller coaster journey. And when you do these things, these ground up cores, and this isn't my first one, but they're always, there's so much risk in it. There's so much dynamic movement going on. It's just great to finally get here, to be here. I'm hugely excited, as you can see.
Yeah, Suzanne, how about you? You kind of been on shotgun with Mike through the whole process. So,
yeah, definitely. I am so psyched because it's this whole journey. It's like, I think we've been able to see where we're going to get with this processor, and no one else has really believed it's going to happen. And so I am so ready for it to be out there so we can go, we did it.
You did, yeah, absolutely. So James, Gerald, you guys have been working on it from a product perspective, from a marketing perspective. How do you guys feel today?
Oh, just incredible excitement. This is, you guys feel kind of like you've delivered it. Now it's time to pick it up and run it round, right? This is incredible excitement. I can't wait to get out there, talk to the fans, see their reaction, really just take this thing into the next level with sales and exploring the new platform. Just so much fun to come.
Yeah, I'm ready for the world to kind of get in on the secret, right? So we've had a chance to start playing and doing our thing internally, but I'm ready to turn that over to all the end users and gamers and consumers out there that are going to get a chance to actually put this thing into an experience. So that's what I'm excited about.
So one of the things, Gerald, I know you worked on was helping to set up the ability to pre-order Ryzen 7. Has it surprised you how big the reaction has been to that?
Yes. I mean, I was very excited about it anyway. I knew it was going to be big. I knew it was going to be, a monumental time to really bring back choice in an area of the market that really needed it. But everybody, from our partners through to our customers and fans have just rallied around this product, and I'm excited. It just continues to get us pumped for seeing them out in the wild.
So obviously your role was a bit on the marketing side and working with retailers. Why don't we go around and you guys tell us a little bit about what your specific role was in either the Zen core development or the Ryzen processor. Mike, do you want to start us off?
I was the chief architect of Zen. Put together what we wanted to build. We knew we had to do a grounds up core. Our previous generations were not, there were incremental derivatives, and we were not getting where we wanted to be. So we knew we had to go back to square one and design a new core, something that would be the best we could design, the best in class at the time. So assembled a great team. Suzanne here led the team, kept them together. It was a very, like I said before, very risky. A lot of moving parts, and just she helped keep it together, and we managed to hit our goals. We set very aggressive goals for ourselves, and we managed to hit them, which is great.
Absolutely, and congratulations, obviously. So Suzanne, tell us about leading the team, creating the Zen products.
Yeah, so I like to say I led the team that put the Zen in Ryzen.
Okay, that's very good.
Yeah, I think that's pretty catchy, don't you think?
Yeah, it is.
No, this team is outstanding. It was, there was a lot of concern at the beginning because we don't typically do this kind of thing where you just sort of toss everything out and start all over. And we had people who were serious doubters at the very beginning, or even further into it than the very beginning. But
they're engineers.
They're engineers, exactly.
Or also outside the company as well. When we started
outside
to
the
speak
company,
to
outside the
goals.
team. You would get a lot of people going, is it really going as good as you think it is, and are we hearing the right thing? But the team really rallied around it. I mean, we had ups and downs, but everyone hung together. And it's a long process, and it was a difficult journey, but it made it worthwhile in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. So James, I'll come to you. Now, one of the things I know about you is that you bring an outside-in perspective to A&B. You had a big role in the workstation business. You've been an independent product reviewer. How did that influence your role, and what was your role in bringing Ryzen to market?
So I was part of the product management team responsible for advising on channel business development, so the component channel for DIYers, enthusiasts, system builders. And it was really key tasks were to make sure the ecosystem was enabled, make sure that the motherboard partners had the right features, were targeting the right things, were talking about it in the right way, as well as supporting sales. You know, we had to get their questions inside to engineering teams and to the marketing teams so you can understand how to sell this thing, but also third-party customers too. Memory, cases, all these kind of things had to pull together as a cohesive whole. And I hopefully had a strong hand in making that a success.
You have, definitely.
And it's been, you know, bringing the perspective of being a reviewer, being an enthusiast, being born of the internet, right? Coming of age in the old Athlon days, this is right back to the heart of the most exciting time before now. Now we're in the glory days again.
Absolutely. Excellent, James. Okay, Gerald, how about you?
So like James said, the component area of the business is huge for us. You know, people that are building their own systems from scratch, the smaller system builders, the system integrators, retailers that are out there. It's a big part of the Zen story, you know, which will continue to evolve. But the component channel got to be the tip of the spear, and so I head up marketing for our worldwide component team, head up social, and really just try to drive that message out to an end customer. And for me, this has been a labor of love because I grew up as building systems when I was a teenager. So we would go to this first Saturday swap meet in Dallas and go and pick components. I burned up a couple systems, you know, but that was who I was before I came to AMD. So it's been great to go through this process, and you know, wearing the logo here. So that was part of something that we all got the chance to step out of our day jobs and normal roles and look at things like the logo treatment and really building a brand that was going to stand the test of time. So we put the rye in Ryzen. And so that's really been what we've worked on to date, and we get to turn that into actual marketing campaigns and driving those experiences to our community, which is where we're at right now.
Well, I know with both of you, your background in building PCs or building workstations and how much you care about the enthusiast community really shapes the way you work. Why don't we pivot outside AMD and talk a little bit about all these, you know, hopefully millions of people who are going to be using Ryzen processors this year, and what we think it means to them, what we think it's going to mean to the gamer, to the hardware enthusiast, to the person who's a avid digital content creator, that type of thing. Any thoughts on what we think Ryzen's going to do for them?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think you said when you started this project that the most predominant use case for gamers would be to broadcast it to everybody to sort of see them playing games, and that more people would watch gamers playing games and would watch NBA finals. People just said you're crazy. So we're not. That was no way. But we did, and we are, and we're doing it. It's the incredible inflection. We're catching the wave rise. This thing is growing and burgeoning. Esports, which I know is a topic very close to your heart, you're all in on that, which is great, because we've got this great product that delivers the best streaming experience and gaming experience at the same time, and we're able to truly capture and redefine a market at an inflection point, which is beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I just look at the fact that innovation's not a given. You know, this challenge, this desire to start over from scratch with something and really make something new is not something that just happens, right? You have to take a lot of risks. You have to take a lot of chances to build something new. And so I think for any use case, you know, whether it's gamers or digital creators, people that are doing professional things and really driving everything that this processor can do, they get the benefit of that innovation, that competition, and we just continue pushing the whole industry forward, which is awesome.
So that's very well said. So for you,
Well,
the
to
two
hit
of
on
you,
that.
yeah, 4 years building a core and then turning it into an SoC. I don't know how much time you guys have had to think about, you know, what the gamers and the content creators will do with it, but any
Well,
thoughts?
certainly, I think competition is a beautiful thing, right? And, you know, in that market, there hasn't been a lot of choice out there. You know, their rigs are getting older and older, or the performance hasn't been going up the way it should be. And I think we bring a unique processor to that market. There's going to be a lot of competition. You're going to see a lot of dynamics, and it's great. We love it. Bring it on. Let's go.
I know that one of my sons wanted to build a PC this
Yes.
summer, and I said, no. You're going to wait a little while.
I've had the same conversation.
So there's a lot of excitement in my house, I know.
I can imagine. So, okay, I'll ask you guys all this question, but I'll start with the two of you because I think you probably knew before anybody else. And what was that moment where you realized, hey, we were going to achieve our goals with the Zen core and then with the Ryzen processor, and you let that excitement or moment kind of sink in? Do you remember when that was?
I've got one of them.
Yeah.
We tracked the performance weekly, and we would have our monthly all hands with the whole design team, and our performance modeling lead, Matt, had drawn the graph of performance going up as you add features, but there was always this caveat. Okay, now we're going to start into execution mode. Once we do timing work and bug work, it's going to go down. And so, get ready. And then every week he would show it again. He'd be like, okay, well, next week it's going to start going down again. And, in one meeting, we're all like, okay, so where's it going down? I mean, there were points like that where, it's a really tight design, and it never took that big nosedive. That's when I started to really feel like, yeah, this thing is going to be amazing.
Fantastic.
Well, and we have seen that historically on past projects, and one of the best parts about this team is that, you get to points where you do have to give up on some things, or the idea didn't quite work out the way you wanted, but this team was always scrambling, trying to, well, if we're going to lose that, I have this idea, we didn't put in, let's go see if we can squeeze that in and we can hold the line even though we have to give up on something. So it was just an amazing team to get it that way. And
Okay, so actually I think I found out from you, James, about where the processor was coming in. So why don't you talk a little bit about that moment for you?
Oh, that's
How
a
it
good one.
felt,
There's been
yeah.
a good number of oh yeah, this is a hallelujah moment. I think probably my favorite was the day I discovered how exactly Precision Boost and XFI and Pure Power were all going to come together and deliver this great experience. How good that was going to be. That was when it really clicked with me. Like, whoa, this is more than just cores and threads. This is intelligence. This is design that we haven't seen before in this space. This is going to be incredible. This is differentiating, right? Everything we've been asking for from product for the last however many years, right there in one box. That simple as. Performance, pricing, power efficiency, genuine innovation. I mean, you couldn't build a better checklist to go off and give to a business unit. That was amazing.
How about you, Gerald? Big moment where you realized Ryzen was going to come in maybe even better than you'd hoped?
So, I mean, I've been here over 10 years, and so usually I have my go-to people that, I look them in the eye and try to gauge, what exactly does 5% mean to you and all that. And one of those go-to people, actually Emil, I looked at him and I had not seen that, the swagger, and it wasn't, you can tell when somebody's talking about something, they're really excited, but when they're super calm and it's basically an I got that moment, that was it for me. I was like, we're in, and then from a marketing standpoint, you get to tell that story, right? And just translate that excitement into an actual use case for somebody. So for me, I switched into experience mode. I was like, well, we need to show this off, right? Not tell people, oh, it's going to be great, but just show it off in its natural habitat.
And through that process, that's been a constant for everything you and James and the team have done since, is to always lead with the experiences that are delivered. So that's pretty important too. Okay, as much fun as we're having, we're going to take a little short break, look at a very cool Ryzen video, and when we come back, we'll have one more important guest come and join us. So we'll need to make a little more room on the couch here, and we'll pick up the conversation from there. Sound good?
sounds great.
Okay, great.
Today is a really big day for AMD, and actually it's a really big day for all PC gamers and content creators and everybody who loves high-performance processing. Today is all about Ryzen. We wanted to disrupt the PC market. We wanted to bring innovation, choice, and performance to as many people as possible. Well, I'm very proud to tell you today for the first time, we not only beat the goal We beat it by a lot.
Of course.
Well done. Double kill.
Mind if I interrupt?
The shrines awaken once more. Who will control Dragon Knight's power? Fort Shadow. Free the Dragon Knight and slaughter your enemies.
You have my thanks for now. Done. They flee before us. Beg for your Of course.
Enemy slain.
Good enough here. Do not test my patience. I must retreat. I fought on. Of course. Let none survive.
Let's drop the beat!
Leave only ruins.
For now. My will is my own.
Power gathers within the shrines. Unleash the dragon's wrath.
My will is my own.
Keep fighting, warriors!
Activate Activate the shrines. Take the Dragon Knight's power. Fort lost.
Hey, what's up there, guys? Joker here. Today's video is meant to serve as a follow-up to my video that I did earlier today with the R7 1700, the Ryzen CPU, up against the Intel i7 7700K. There had been a lot of comments down below on that video that were asking about testing methodology and why some of the numbers may not have been lining up with some other reviewers out there, so I just wanted to go ahead and throw this video out there for you guys as just completely raw data. So some of you may find this video to be rather boring because all I'm going to be doing is showing you benchmarks. If you want fancy B-roll and all of that stuff, then you can go ahead and check out my 1800X or my 1700 review, which I'll link at the end of this video as well as down in the description below. But this really isn't about plugging those videos here. This is just about giving you guys the raw data, the side-by-side comparison between these two processors, and everything is the same that I had used in the settings for those videos. This is not the actual runs that I used for those benchmarks, but I went back, I recorded all of this the same way that I tested in that video with the same settings, same CPUs. So I've got the 7700K at 5 gigahertz and the 1700 at 3.9 gigahertz on the GTX 1080. That's overclocked with 200 megahertz on the core additional and another 300 megahertz on the memory, and all games were tested at ultra. So hopefully you guys can just kind of draw your own conclusions here from the data on the screen. I just wanted to remove any sort of opinion or any potential bias that could be taken from just looking at this data. So it's really just all about you guys drawing your own conclusions for what you're going to be seeing on the screen here with the games that I'm going to be showing you between the two processors. Another thing I wanted to comment on is a lot of people were saying that I was using a GPU bottleneck, that I was forcing a GPU bottleneck because they saw the GPU pinned at 99% usage. Yeah, that's because I'm running VSync off and we're also using a 144 Hz monitor. Or it wouldn't even really matter if you're using a 144 Hz monitor. Actually, if you run VSync off, what that means is that your frame rate is not limited in any way. That means that your GPU is capable of being pushed to 100% load, or 99% in most situations, ideally anyway, in a well-optimized game that allows you to leverage your GPU hardware. So with the GTX 1080 in a comparison like this, that is absolutely no way a GPU bottleneck. We're playing at 1080p here. If I was to go ahead and force all of my testing to run at 4K, which would certainly make it a very, very GPU-bound testing scenario, then yes, you would definitely have a point, because the GPUs would be getting pushed so hard and being maxed out that they would become a bottleneck and a choke point for the CPUs that you were testing. But this is 1080p with VSync off, so that's why you're seeing 99% there. So I just hope that clears that up for some people that were asking about, not really asking, kind of more or less accusing really of me trying to sway these benchmarks in one way or the other. So that's why I just wanted to put this up, raw side-by-side data, and you guys can just draw what you want from it. I don't think I really have too much else to say really on this between the two processors. Everything I said in the review still pretty much holds up between these two. As you'll see, that the 1700 really does fall behind. And actually, you know what? I'm not gonna. I'm going back on what I said. I'm going back on. I was not going to give an opinion, and I'm going to stick to that. Actually, all of my opinions, if you want them, are over in that video. I'm going to wrap this up now, and I'm going to get out of here. But I'm going to continue to let the benchmarks run, just because I want you guys to have as much data as possible for you to do with whatever you want. So Yeah, like I said, I'm going to get out of here, and you guys can just continue watching the rest of these benchmarks here on your screen. If you appreciated the raw data and the reviews that I did earlier today, then please don't forget to go ahead and leave us a like down below on this video. And if you do want to check out those full reviews, once again, they'll be linked in the description and at the end of this video on the title card. So I'm going to get out of here, and I'll catch you guys next time.
The enemy is attacking your core. Unleash its power.
I can use this range to get some practice. Reckon I'm about ready to.
Your core is under attack. Spared the flame.
MVP.
Hey, what's up guys? Joker here. Today is day one of what will be my Ryzen testing. I'm going to be doing benchmarking. Obviously, you won't be seeing this video probably until sometime